So I'm going to speak quite fast. I'll leave some questions for at the end because there's a lot of slides that we have to get through. If there's anything that you want to know, just make a note of it and we can quickly go through it at the back. So at the end, I just basically wanted to go through some supplements and what you need to look at. The different categories that I took out that I thought would be relevant for a starting point are these ones. It was supposed to be 7, but it ended up a little bit more. So I thought let's just touch on all the different, or the relevant, the ones that I think is relevant, and then we can always delve deeper if need be. So obviously about supplements, like I said, I could speak for hours. There's a big problem in industry, and even for me that know supplements, that know ingredients, if I walk into a pharmacy, I get very overwhelmed. And I think the one thing that I want people to be aware of is that ingredients aren't always the same. You'll see now when we touch on magnesium. Magnesium is great, but there's different forms, and each one has got a different indication. It's got different absorption, a different effect in the body as well. So you need to know, are you taking the right form for the right thing? So that's always the starting point, is just think, what are you trying to achieve? Then underdosed, like that happens so often. You'll pick up a supplement from the shelves and it would say it contains, let's use collagen. Then it's 50 milligrams of collagen. So that's subtherapeutic. Doesn't matter. It's not the amount that you need. So they're allowed to say that, but it's not the quantity that you relate to the research or the clinical trials that was done with it. So just be mindful of that as well. Sometimes if it says it's infused with, it contains added this and that, you can know that it's trace amounts. Sometimes there's no data on it. Also, sometimes the extracts is unstandardized, or sometimes it's just a 4-to-1 extract. That means it's just basically whatever's in there times 4 equal to the root, which also just doesn't tell you anything, because herbals are the same as normal medicines. They have a lot of constituents, mostly I would say around about 50. So you want it to be standardized, otherwise it's something else every time. And most of the really good herbal extracts out there are standardized to constituents that they have been proven to have the effects, and then missing cofactors as well. So obviously that is very important too. So I think this is why it's always good to know who's reputable suppliers out there or companies, and to really read the labels. And if it says, let's say, echinacea, not to just assume that everything is the same. If it's not standardized, if it doesn't state it there, then it probably isn't standardized. If it's a trademark ingredient, that's already like a move in the right direction already as well. Yes, and then obviously there is a big drive these days from companies like Prime Self showing their testing, because as a rule, there's not a lot of testing that happens with health supplements. So you want to make sure there's not a lot of fillers and all kinds of things in your product, and that it is third-party tested, or at least manufactured in a GMP accredited facility. That's actually the law, but it doesn't happen all the time. Okay, so what is the first one that I wanted to touch on is vitamin D3. So we all know that we get this when we go into the sun, but a lot of people are deficient with this. You find receptors in your immune cells, brain, heart, muscles. It regulates a lot of genes. A lot of people are deficient. This is a fat-soluble vitamin, so it is something that you don't just supplement with yourself. You have it tested. Don't guess, and also don't just supplement if you think, now you read something on vitamin D, so you think, oh, this is a great thing to supplement with, and you start taking huge amount of international units a day. It does build up in your system. Anything higher than 1,000 international units a day is in actual fact classified as medicine, so you can't buy any product over the counter higher than 1,000 legally. But yeah, that is important to test and to make sure that your vitamin D levels is adequate. The same with vitamin K2, something that's often overlooked. I like that MK7 form. It helps with the calcium to direct it to your bones, and that they don't build up in your arteries. I was involved with the osteoporosis study years ago, and that was actually quite important, because the Professor Stefan Hoog that was supposed to do it told me that you have to make very sure not just increasing your calcium is part of the answer. If you have osteoporosis, you have to make sure that you have that vitamin K, because having too high calcium is just as detrimental to your health as having too low calcium as well. So yeah, very important to make sure that you do get the vitamin K to make sure that the calcium goes where it's supposed to go. Then omega-3, this is a big Pandora's box, and I've spent countless times looking at formulas. I've looked at different ingredients and things as well. So there is a lot of data out there. There's a lot of data that's conflicting as well on the EPA and DHA, what the ratio of the two should be. EPA is anti-inflammatory, mood regulation, supports your heart, and then the DHA is more structural component for brain cell membranes. You need both of them. They usually say 2 to 1, and most capsules, I think, gives you anything from 250 to 500 milligrams total EPA and DHA per day. That's quite low. I myself prefer taking the oil. A couple of years ago, there was an assessment. I think it was by CANSA, one of these associations, where they looked at all the fish oil on the market and in terms of the degradation products, and a lot of them actually failed. So I think for me, in terms of the dosage that you need, and also from a stability point of view, I actually prefer taking the neat oil if I do take it. Otherwise, you might need quite a few capsules as well. Making capsules is also quite an involved process. It will also the oil will be exposed to higher temperatures, so you have to make sure. But there are some reputable companies out there with omega-3s if you want to take capsules. Nutraceutics is one of them, Prime Self. The Real Thing is also good omegas. I take Zeno just because I like the science behind it, and there's polyphenols added in and vitamin D. So for me, it feels like it's all in one, but I do take quite a hefty dosage of it. And they also offer where they test your omegas beforehand, and you can see that you're in the red. After 3 months, they retest, and you can see the improvement, which for me was quite important because I actually hate guessing. But before then, I used to use any of those brands that I measured as well. I think this is just the crux of it. Clinical trials typically use 2 to 4 grams of EPA and DHA daily, and most fish oil capsules only have 300 milligrams of them. So it means that you need to take quite a lot of capsules for the best ones, but look for concentrated formulas. Refrigerate after opening because oxidation is an enemy. And then there is krill oil as well, which is one that's also quite beneficial if you wanted to go down that route. Then magnesium, that's also, people always ask about magnesium, and magnesium is often associated with cramps. As soon as people start getting cramps, they think, okay, well, I've got a magnesium deficiency. But magnesium is much more than that. It's involved in more than 200 reactions in your body as well. So most people do find benefit from taking magnesium, but just remember that not all magnesium is the same. And there is a very big hype these days for multi-magnesium formulas. I know that the Real Thing has got like a magnesium that combines different magnesium sources. I think Prime Self also does that. So why do they do that? It's because you get different magnesium sources, and they're all different. So for instance, on the daily recommended dosage of magnesium is anything from 400 to 420 milligrams, but that's, remember, elemental quantity. So it also depends, all these forms yield different amounts of elemental magnesium. So don't be fooled. Don't let somebody tell you it's 1,000 milligrams of magnesium citrate, and then you want to know what is the elemental amount, not the amount of the actual form that they put in there. But magnesium glycinate or bisglycinate is quite good, high bioavailability, it's gentle on gut, best for sleep, anxiety, and general deficiency. Then also magnesium maleate is also good absorption. I know that that's also in these multi-magnesium formulas. Magnesium L-threonate, that's the one that I took for a long time. It's the only one that crosses your blood-brain barrier, so it's very good for your cognitive function. Always worried about my brain, so that was one that I took for quite a while. Magnesium citrate, I love that one as well, very good. We will touch on acid-alkaline balance as well, so the citrate minerals fit into that category, and magnesium citrate is the one that I then often use. The bioavailability is good. It doesn't matter whether you've got food or no food in your stomach, and it's more affordable as well. But obviously it doesn't reach your brain. Magnesium oxide, that's the one that is the cheapest and actually more laxative than anything else. But I have seen it in these multi formulas as well. Then creatine, this is the one where I have to say that I've been the most surprised about. So creatine has been around for a long time. I've only recently started taking it. When I was still young, it was something that all the gym people took, and always thought that, no, I definitely don't want that. In my mind, it was something that affects your kidneys because it's high protein and it's not something that you need. But there is so much research on creatine, and it's actually one of the supplements that even people that don't take supplements take creatine, just because, as you can see, there are more than 500 human trials as well. There's been a lot of research. The daily effective dosage is 3 to 5 grams daily. There's very little serious adverse events, maybe some gastric discomfort. Why do you need it? It replenishes your ATP, and this is your energy source in all your tissues. It's needed for your brain. As you can see there, improves cognitive function, reduces mental fatigue, neuroprotective properties. There's been a lot of later research showing that it's very beneficial for females, especially the ones going through perimenopause, menopause, especially for people that don't eat a lot of meat, that have muscle wasting or losing muscle. So yeah, this is a good one to take. Creatine monohydrate is the best one. So again, don't be fooled about all the different formats that they have out there. That is the gold standard. If you can, take that one. It's the one that was studied. I've seen some brands use the micronized one. So micronized just means that the particle size is smaller, so that it's easier to dissolve. And then the other forms I would just steer away. Stay with the monohydrate. It's the one that's tested and will probably be best. Then stress, mood, mental well-being. This is a biggie. Everyone is stressed. Everyone is depressed. Everyone is anxious. So which ingredients are actually good for that? So I love L-theanine. This is actually, when we looked at the structure of this, it's very similar to something that you find in Sutherlandia as well. And that's why it's known as the South African stress herb as well. But as you can see there, it's also like a caffeine antagonist, very good for anxiety. I love it. As you can see there, you can take 100 to 200 milligrams of L-theanine. You can even, I worked on Turbovite as well. So the Turbovite Focus, the new formulation without the alcohol, also contains L-theanine along with caffeine. And exactly for that reason, because it helps you focus. Yeah, and there's a lot of brands that have L-theanine. The one that is, I think, trademark is Suntheanine. I like this one because it is a patented pure L-isomer, so it's the absorption is better. It's clinically studied as well. So I think Nutraceutics has it. Prozen also has Suntheanine. There might be other brands as well, but yeah, I know Prozen definitely has the Suntheanine in as well. Then saffron, that's one of the most expensive things that you can get, a spice. And it is because they take it from those dried stigmas from the flower. So you can imagine how much you need of that to be able to make up a dosage. It has quite a lot of different constituents. I mean, that's what's so nice about any herb, is that there's different constituents with different mechanisms of action. All that you guys need to know is why I love saffron is it's very safe. It's very beneficial for females as well. I've spent some time with Kevin from Nutraceutics as well, where he said that their saffron is actually the best one, or the best seller for females. I looked at all their studies as well. It's an ingredient that I also evaluated. I wanted to bring it into a menopause formula for that mild, moderate depression that you might have. There's some studies on PMS. There's some studies even on ADD. I thought this seems too good to be true, something that I definitely need. But the nice thing about this is, and why I really like it, it's very safe as well. So people can use it along with their other medication. Some older herbs that had a big hype for depression, like St. John's wort, is dangerous from the point of view that there's a lot of drug interactions. It's metabolized through that cytochrome P450, which a lot of drugs is also, so you get the interactions. With this one, you don't. And it also has some studies on sleep as well. Usually, I think the one that I looked the most at is the trademark one called Afron. And you could take either a dosage in the morning, or you could split it twice a day if you wanted to, and especially if sleep was a concern as well. They even had like studies on sleep quality as well. So it's not a sleeping tablet. It's not something that you're going to take and there 10 minutes later you passed out. It just helps with sleep as well. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites when it comes to like low-grade depression, anxiety, sleep, PMS, all of those type of things. Yeah, you can see I just put some info there as well on Afron. Then adaptogens, I get a lot of people asking me about adaptogens. I have looked at a lot of them for various studies. Ashwagandha was the one that I looked at the most intently. I was working on a formula for stress and burnout. So I looked at all the trademark ashwagandhas out there, the studies that they have, the effects that it has on your body in terms of cortisol. Some people say it even increases your testosterone. So basically, it just helps you adapt to stress. And a lot of them have effects also on thyroid function, because your thyroid can be affected if you're very stressed. The one that I like the most of everyone that I evaluated was the KSM 66. It is actually it's like an extract that they make in milk, and it's the whole root, which was very interesting at that stage to me, because we were even looking at Sutherlandia. I had a guy help me with some research that I was doing. We were doing some experiments with the milk bases. So this one I really do like. You do feel the effect. It's a high dosage. You need at least 600 milligrams a day, but it is an adaptogen that you take and you can feel a difference. And especially if you feel like you're really struggling to adapt to whatever stress you have in your life. I know that Prime Self, I think, also has this bioactive KSM 66. Then Scaletium. So yeah, so this is also proudly South African. I like Scaletium. I'm just a little bit more wary of it. I think the reason being is that those mesembrine alkaloids that's in there, you have to make sure that you're using the right extract. Otherwise, it can actually be very, very potent as well. And I've seen people have like a serotonin syndrome from it as well. But there's one that is the golden standard. I know that they've done a lot of studies. They actually doing more studies as we speak. I took Zembrin in my own personal capacity also for a very long time. I know that they're even doing trials there at Potch on crocodiles, because strangely enough, they also stress quite a bit. And they mix it into their food just to help them adapt to stress as well, also with good effects. So Zembrin is the patented one, which I know is safe. I met the doctor that did all the clinical research on Zembrin. His wife is a psychiatrist. And at that stage, as I said, their Elevate is the product that's on the market. That's 25 milligrams of Zembrin. But in their opinion, people could use even higher quantities, up to 100 milligrams. And his wife did get a lot of good results with the Zembrin. It is tested. So this is also a nice one to take. Definitely a milder effect, I would say, versus for instance, ashwagandha or saffron, but it is proudly South African. And Zenbrin, I can't fault. There's a lot of data on it. Then I just had to bring in some compounds which is naturally present in your body, because from a supplement point of view, these three are definitely my favorites, and I use them as well because I do think that they're very beneficial. So we've spoken about BA. I love BA. It works on the same receptors as CBD. It reduces pain, reduces inflammation. It's got a lot of studies. We're actually rethinking doing a study with athletes in terms of immunity, because I found that I don't get sick anymore since I've been taking it, but I take it for my joint issues. But it does have like a neuroprotective effect as well. There are some overseas companies that also bring this into their formulas when it comes to aging and cognitive decline, etc. So yeah, and there's a lot of studies on it. So I really do like it, and it is also naturally present in the body. I just, yeah, other than the pain and things, I've also seen good results with people that have allergies or any inflammatory type of condition. I said here that the standard PA, poor absorption, but that doesn't really matter because this clinical studies were done with it. The only thing that you can know that is if you use the micronized one, you can get away with a lower dosage. And the studies that I looked at lately now for immunity was anything from starting from 600 milligrams a day to 1,200 to even 2,400. So it gets broken down very fast. So it's not really something that can be harmful or build up in your body, no effect on your liver or kidneys. So yeah, I love BA. It's definitely part of my stack as well. Then OEA. So as I said, I've been involved with some integrative practitioners as well. And one of the big things that always come up is people want to lose weight. And that is, there's harder ways to do things and there's easier ways to do things. But OEA is similar to PEA, and it is also naturally produced in the gut, as you can see there, from oleic acid. So basically what this does is it just makes you feel fuller faster. So the one doctor had this formulated in one of his supplements that he called Eat Less, and people would take it twice a day. And it basically just stopped that curbing of overeating and everything. I can share all the clinical studies on OEA as well for anyone who is interested. Later on, there was more studies also showing that it's actually very beneficial for people, even with PCOS or metabolic issues too. So this one it's very safe, it's very nice, and it was part of his Eat Less stash. Then MSM. At Nativa, they used to say MSM is my middle name. So before I discovered PEA, it was definitely my go-to compound. What I like about MSM is that, firstly, it is present in the atmosphere, it's present in your body. If they had to draw blood, they would find some MSM there. And it's relatively cheap versus all the other ingredients. It has a lot of data on it, and it's very versatile as well. So firstly, most people know it as a natural anti-inflammatory. It helps for pain and inflammation, good for your joints, but it's also very good for exercise recovery. It's also very good for allergies. And then what people don't know is that it actually has a lot of beauty applications as well, because what is it? It's organic sulphur. So any dosage from 1 to 2 grams a day is actually very, very good for your skin as well. And people taking it for pain and for whatever they were using it for, did report afterwards, oh, my nails are growing so fast. Or I've even had people, I was involved with jointies as well. So we had some minerals with MSM. And a lot of younger girls were using that. I think there was some zinc and copper and some cofactors in there along with the MSM, and they just absolutely loved it. They could see a difference in their skin as well. So I love MSM just because it's so versatile. And the nice thing as well is it's something that has synergy. So in all the clinical studies that they did with the MSM, if they use it in isolation, the dosage goes up to at least 6 grams a day. When you have it in combination, you can reduce it to 500 milligrams, and it has good synergy with a lot of the other joint supplements. I had a medical doctor, the one why I started Vitant. He loves MSM. He takes 2 threshold tablets a day, and he believes that it takes his sugar cravings away and that slump that he gets in the afternoon. And he actually subsequently started putting all his executives on MSM as well. I think because it helps with exercise recovery and sort of just in terms of helping, he believes that that makes a big difference. So it's a little bit anecdotal, but all in all, I still love MSM. Collagen, we've spoken about quite a lot. I still think that collagen should be part of everyone's supplement stack because it is something that reduces from your mid-20s, and we've spoken about the types. I'll send this to you afterwards. You guys can have a look at it. I think you all know my opinion on it. I love eggshell, membrane, and then native collagen as well. Then the greens and spirulina, I could have added in Biostrath in here as well. So we've spoken about some vitamins, but amino acids are very important. And these green things as well. I mean, spirulina, the Marcus Rohrer ones, at a stage I looked at all their data. It was really very impressive. I also ran Comrades that year. I think it was 2000 when they were sponsoring some of the water points and they were actually giving people some spirulina to drink en route. And yeah, obviously, if you're not used to it, that wouldn't be a good plan. But for me, it definitely gave me that boost. I like it. I know that they even, when I looked at their data, there was some things that it's beneficial for weight as well because it does contain some iodine. It's got these unique blue pigments in there that is anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. You'll see that I have a whole section here on the polyphenols. That's very important. Polyphenols are very complex. There's a lot of polyphenols, but there's a lot of data on it in terms of your gut health, cancer prevention. I mean, I worked with Carl Albrecht for a long time, and he worked with cancer for 30 years, and he was a big fan of polyphenols when it comes to, he always said to me, make sure that you have your polyphenols every day. So yeah, this is also, as you can see here, good for people, the same as Biostrath that have like iron deficiency. So in terms of health benefits, I like these blue-green type of things. Taking spirulina or barley green or one of those is definitely something that I would recommend. Then the mushroom hype, mushrooms are very complex. So we could probably have like a whole session just talking about mushrooms. It's become very popular. When I went to the Organic and Natural Expo, they had the mushroom experts there as well. I think lion's mane is the one that most people focus on, but there's a lot of different ones as well. So I think this one, again, I would say the same as what I would say for all the other products as well. Just make sure that you buy it from a reputable company. I saw a lot of people having little stalls that I'm not sure where these products come from, their mushrooms or their extracts, and I myself wouldn't trust that. So you want it from a reputable company that you know is regulated, that actually have a standardized lion's mane in there, but that has those actives that you know that gives you the effect. But yeah, this one is sort of like a cognitive function, nerve repair. People love taking it. The dosages is quite high that you need from it. I think it's 1 to 2 grams. But yeah, and anyways, this is the reishi one as well. You can see there as well. Again, same thing that I would say if you want to take mushrooms, make sure that it is from a reputable company. I actually know somebody that's doing a lot of additional work on mushrooms. So if there's a lot of interest in that, we could actually have a session and get somebody to talk about, you know, their research with it. So this is all the different ones that there is. Then the antioxidants and the polyphenols, as I said, this is very important. I do believe that everyone should have at least some sort of polyphenol as part of their supplement stack. Astaxanthin, this is the one that I like the most. It's 6,000 times more powerful than vitamin C as an antioxidant. And there is a lot of data on this, from your skin to your joints and everything. The best one is the Astareal one. You don't need a super high dosage, 4 to 12 milligrams daily. It really is very good to take this type of antioxidants because our stressful lifestyles, what we exposed to, there's a lot of free radicals that get formed, and you do need something to neutralize that. Quercetin, it really got very, it got a lot of hype during COVID time. It is very, it's very good for allergies and things as well. There's a lot of formulas that have quercetin along with MSM as well. Quercetin's got a problem from a formulation point of view, very difficult to work with it. It's not soluble. If ever you buy the Lintacon effervescence and you see something at the top that's not dissolving, you can know it's your quercetin. So that's also a problem. Bioavailability is also not so great. That's why there's a lot of forms where they have it in a liposome and everything. It is a good one as well, but for me personally, I use that more when I'm sick, especially because I think it just aids other antioxidants and it helps with allergies and related symptoms. Glutathione, this is great. It's your master antioxidant, but it's not, you can't really absorb it. So if you find a supplement that says that it's glutathione, you might as well know that they're either lying to you or it should be in some sort of format that protects it. So how do you increase your glutathione levels? You take precursors. Precursors of glutathione is MSM as well as NAC. They increase your glutathione levels, which is good because this is your body's own master antioxidant. Then resveratrol, this is also fantastic. The best effects that I've seen for resveratrol was basically for back issues, people that have a combination of PEA and resveratrol as well. There's a lot of anti-aging longevity formulas that also have the resveratrol in as well. It is quite synergistic. Spoke to a few companies overseas that said that the NMN and the NAD plus combinations are very good when it comes to longevity. I haven't touched on those ones. I think we'd probably have to have like an advanced class to go to more specialized longevity ones, because we would definitely then talk about NMN and NAD, but resveratrol is also definitely important from a longevity point of view. Curcumin, I absolutely love this. It's got so much data on, I was even once formulating something for gut health, and we included curcumin as well. So firstly, it's anti-inflammatory, it's a COX inhibitor, but then secondly, it's a very, very strong antioxidant as well. The problem with curcumin is the absorption. Absorption is very low. That's why you get all these trademark versions that are in some sort of matrix to enhance the absorption, but you also get the metabolites that you can use that increases the absorption. So yeah, I listed Nutraceuticals there as well, but Sabinza is one of the manufacturers that has the base curcumin. But all in all, it is actually a very good supplement, or to make sure that it's somewhere in your stack. Alpha lipoic acid, again, for me, the best application for this one is also a very strong antioxidant. It's actually sugar. I saw a very good formulation with Sutherlandia and alpha lipoic acid where they actually got very good results. So if I had issues with my sugar and I wanted to take a supplement for that, I would definitely be looking at alpha lipoic acid. I don't think we have to talk about iron, but I do often get this question as well. But yeah, I think with most things, test before you just start taking a supplement. But if you know that you have low iron, take something like either spirulina or even BioStrath. They had a clinical study where they looked at people with genetically low iron levels, and by using BioStrath daily, their iron levels didn't go down. So it's because it is like a herbal catalyst. It just helps you absorb your nutrients from foods better. That doesn't matter. Then one thing that I wanted to mention as well, and I actually saw it, where is that book? So I like sports. So I met these people that wrote this book as well. It's called Performance Explosion in Sports. They've got a facility in Germany where they test the athletes. They actually have very specialized testing. They look at all their nutrient levels and then they make sure that they replenish everything as well. And in their book, they actually said that, I want to go to that now. Yeah. So yeah, they actually said that we have an issue if you exercise a lot, but this has not got to do with exercise in general. It's got to do with your lifestyle. So it doesn't matter who you are. Most of us do have a problem with our acid-alkaline balance, without actually realizing it. We like wine, we like coffee, we drink a lot of, we eat a lot of meat, cheese, chocolates, all of those things are acidic forming. And then you put exercise into the mix as well. So then the acidic load on the body is quite high. So if people says you're taking something and it alkalizes you, they're actually talking nonsense. So, but how it actually works is the pH of your blood, it's got a reference range and that stays constant. But what happens if your alkaline load is too high, your body will do whatever it can to keep the pH of your blood constant. So what it does is it either leaches minerals out of your bones or it deposits some of the acids in somewhere in your joints or whatever. So then that's not so good for you. So what are the resulting effects from like over acidities? People would say that they've got brain fog. Loss of bone density is one of them as well. Sometimes people have cramps and everything too. And in this book, they do talk about potassium. It's the mineral that most people forget about. When they think about cramps and stuff, first thing that comes to mind is magnesium. But more often than not, potassium is something that's definitely deficient as well. And it is very strong alkalizing. So if you take potassium citrate, it is something that reduces or neutralizes 3 acid molecules, which is great from that point of view. So there's also been some studies with, if you look at all the base formulas on the market, you'll see that their main ingredient, or one of the main ingredients, is potassium citrate. And the reason being is because the citrate is so strongly alkalizing. There's been a study overseas where actually one of their formulas for bone density is an alkaline powder. But they did a study as well where they had 2 groups. Both groups were getting calcium and vitamin D. The one group got potassium citrate. The other group got potassium chloride. And the group who got the potassium citrate, after a few months, had a statistically significant increase in their bone density, which was sort of unheard of. So that just means, they also say in this book that our lifestyle actually causes us to be more acidic. So for me, that's very important. I mean, I don't even have to, I went through a stunt of doing iridology as well. When you look at my eyes, you can see this nice like whitish tinge thing if they take a picture, and that is the indication of just being tending to be too acidic. But I mean, I didn't for 1 second query it, because I love coffee and I think I do stress a lot and everything as well. So for me, that's something that is important. If you're somebody like Essie Honeyball that eats a lot of fruit and vegetables, and you don't really eat a lot of meat, and you don't stress, and you drink a lot of water, and you don't take coffee, then you probably don't need alkaline minerals. But if you're a normal person, it is very good to make sure that you take these alkaline minerals. I take alkaline capsules at night. I take an alkaline powder when I go run as well, and I definitely feel the difference when I'm not taking it. So for me, that's sort of like my cheat in a bottle. Instead of eating all the vegetables and things where I would have gotten all these minerals, citrates from, I prefer just taking the supplement, making sure that I get enough of it. And yeah, as I said, athletes need more of this. I've seen oftentimes as well, if people have a lot of cramps, I usually recommend that they use alkaline powder on a daily basis as well. And oftentimes the cramping goes away. Blood sugar, metabolic health. So yeah, I've got a lot to say as well. I also worked on a little trial that we did through a practice. It wasn't a trial, it's more a patient-reported outcome, where we looked at berberine, because somebody said to somebody else that his wife's friends were all using berberine and they all just lost so much weight. So we had to look at this and try and see if we can't formulate something with berberine. It was very interesting. If you look at the data, berberine again, it's like curcumin, the absorption isn't so great. So you get either the metabolite that you can use, or you can have it in different formats, like a liposome or this or that. So at that stage, they were thinking metformin is like a natural, berberine is like a natural metformin. Yeah, so what did I see in that trial that we did? So nobody really lost weight unless they really exercised as well and watch what they were eating. I think we wanted to see if, let's say you don't change anything, you just keep on eating the same, follow the same lifestyle, will you lose weight when you start using berberine? The answer was no. But did we see beneficial metabolic effects? Yes, we did. A lot of people reported that their cholesterol levels went down. That was the biggest one. Their HbA1c levels also went down, which means that their glucose was lower, which is also great because metformin overseas, which is a drug, there's been a lot of data on it. So the lower your glucose, the longer you'll be living. So it's very beneficial to have your glucose lower. So from that point of view, berberine could be good. The dosage is usually like 3 times a day. It can have some gastric side effects. It's not, in my opinion, it's not just going to make you lose weight, but on a metabolic point of view, it is something that we also incorporated for a doctor when he wanted something for sugar balance for his patients, along with magnesium and a few other things as well. So I just touched you on dehydroberberine as well. So there you just have a lower dosage and the absorption is better, just to stop the gastric side effects from it. Sutherlandia is also, I think I spoke about it before. It's a very strong adaptogen. It was actually a South African. It's actually the South African herb with the most clinical data on, basically for cancer. But yeah, that's maybe, I think the immune effects now these days are probably better than it, but it is very, very good for sugar as well. Here I put the info on there. I saw the data on probiotics. It's got the alpha lipoic acid in there. Oh, sorry, as well as Sutherlandia, and their results are actually quite good. Then prebiotics, postbiotics, and probiotics, and fermented foods. I'm just going to touch on this very, very quickly. Prebiotics, very important. That this is what you sort of need. That's those non-digestible fibers that selectively fuel the beneficial bacteria. The one that's the best known is inulin. It was also in a formula that we have to formulate for a specific integrative practitioner, and he loved the inulin along with a postbiotic actually. But you could have it. It is something that is usually with a prebiotic as well. Only problem with this is usually you need quite a high dosage. You can see there 5 to 10 grams of inulin daily. With most prebiotics, start low, otherwise it could cause some bloating and gastric distress as well. Then probiotics, I really do like them, but they do have issues. There's a lot of strains, different strains that you can use for different conditions, whether it's just replenishing after antibiotic, female health. It's a whole science on its own. The problem with this is the stability. A lot of the really good probiotics need to be kept in the fridge. Otherwise, they degrade quite quickly. So for me, from a formulation point of view, they're not always my favorites because even though I think they are effective, it's not always so easy to keep your cold chain going. So, but I mean, I do use them on a now and then. I would use some probiotics as well, but now we're getting to what I really do like the most is the postbiotics. So that's what you get when you mix the pre and the probiotics. So it's the metabolic byproducts. The one that I like the most is a Bacillus coagulans. It's got a lot of data. It's actually got data on diarrhea as well. It is very stable. You can even cook with it, so it's not going to degrade. So from a formulation point of view, it's fantastic to formulate with it. we did a inulin and bacillus coagulans formula as well for a doctor for gut health, and the people were very happy with that. I often buy the powder and mix it into my smoothies or my cereal as well. So, but I have also seen very beneficial formulas where people have a pre, a pro, and a postbiotic, which is very nice. But from a formulation point of view, unless you have the right probiotic, the stability becomes a problem. Then yeah, fermented foods. Somebody asked me this week. So what I really do like is moccasin. It comes from Switzerland. I know that we should all be eating more fermented foods. I myself really struggle with it. I prefer to take moccasin. I've also obviously looked at all their data as well, and very beneficial for sugar levels, for digestion, bloating. We even had people say that they feel like they're losing some weight, but I don't think it really makes you lose weight. It's just that it helps with the bloating as well. I know that I struggle with lactose, but I absolutely love lactose. So if I take the moccasin, it feels like it balances each other out. I put it in the fridge. I take it neat. But for people that like taking something acidic and water, it's a great drink to add to water as well. They have the normal one, but there is a berry one now as well, which was quite popular as well. And yeah, for me, I know fermented foods are good, but I can't tolerate them. But the moccasin is a very good one. I'm not going to go into this. I just put it here as well. I think I said in the beginning, I really like Synzina because of their data and their omegas. But if you're looking for a cost-effective one, Revite actually also tested very well years ago. So at least there won't be high oxide levels or degradation products in there. Yeah, this is just, I think, like I said, because I like polyphenols so much, the fact that they had the olive oil inclusion in there as well, and for stability, that I thought, well, to me, it made a lot of sense. Okay, that doesn't matter. Then NAC, it is actually also something that I really like as a supplement. The reason being is that it is a precursor to glutathione. There's a lot of people that take this that have, or the best effects that I've seen for this is for people that have asthma or chest issues as a daily supplement, also just to increase your antioxidants, because as I said, glutathione isn't really stable, so best to have the precursors. And yeah, NAC is one that I take daily as well. I used to have asthma as a kid. I definitely feel that there's a difference with this, and that's why I don't know if any of you have seen, but even within Linctagon, the latest Linctagon NAC was also added in, basically because there's good synergy between pelargonium or polyphenols and the NAC, but also because of this antioxidant effect that it has. And when you're getting sick, there is a lot of free radicals forming, and for the beneficial effects on your phlegm and everything as well. Yeah, and then as I said, but this is polyphenols are very important. We could have a session just on that and the cancer connection. So that's why it is good to make sure that you have whichever one have some sort of antioxidants in your diet. Then if you don't want to supplement, then make sure that you are eating some berries or any of these colored type of fruits. Berries is probably the best source. Okay, this is just, I'll be sending this to you afterwards. You can just see uh, where you can get what type of polyphenols as well. So the key takeaways, form is everything. So just make sure that if you do take a supplement, I think the one thing that I've learned from medical devices is that the intended use is very important. So always try and think, okay, but what are you trying to achieve? And is this the right form for what you're trying to do? If you think, okay, well, I want magnesium, and now you're buying the cheapest one and it's magnesium oxide. Should be thinking, is this really the form that I need? And is this really doing something, or is it just like a laxative? Look at the form as well. Is it standardized? Is it something that's trademark? Is there any data on it? Not all herbal extracts are the same. There's vast differences to them. Have a look at the dose as well. Sometimes, as I said, you'll pick up something and it will say it's fortified with this or it contains this. It has to be in the dosage that the studies were done with it. Otherwise, it's actually just misleading. Yeah, and just make sure that you have your foundations there. I think for me, omegas are very, very important. So that's, and then making sure that you're not deficient in vitamin D. And then I love my compounds that are naturally present in your body as well. And then obviously some of the trademark ingredients, they are more expensive, but they are trademark for a reason. It's because they have studies backing them. And if not, make sure that you buy from a reputable company.